you ready? It's the Roundtable with me, Robert Bannon. Well, hey everybody, welcome to the Roundtable. My name is Robert Bannon and I'm excited. I'm so excited to be here with you all. Welcome to this week's episode of the Roundtable. I am coming to you with singers. Artist heaven is what we're calling it, because tonight's performers, tonight's guests are people who just know how to sing, to act, and to perform. So we have some of the best with you here for sure. I'm grateful to be here with you. Thank you all so much for being here. My friend Christine left us a comment. Hello, Robert and Roundtable family. Looking forward to the conversation with Nicolas, Seth, and Chilina, all brilliant, exceptional musicians. Well, that they sure are, and that I am super grateful for, to be on tonight with some of Broadway and Cabaret's absolute best. How you all doing out here? Hello, Marie. Welcome to the show. I did not get dressed up because in Detroit, we're back in school. So I was dressed up and my fiance gets my clothes together. He irons it. He makes me look so spiffy and he makes me dress up nicely with proper shoes and proper socks and proper pants and proper belt and proper button-down shirt with a belt that fits me. And he irons and gets it all ready. But it's hot. So by the time I get home, I was going to wear the button-down shirt and I was going to look so nice. And then I just threw on a t-shirt and a pair of gym shorts because, you know, you could take the jersey out of the boy, but you can't take the trashiness out of the jersey. I'm excited that you're here. We're going to have a good time today. And we'll get you in and out of here so you can go on with your day. I don't know. The vice president's on CNN. There's craziness going on in Arlington Cemetery. The world is insane. Politics is everywhere. So let's just leave that all somewhere and let's just celebrate and have a moment together about life and all of that fun stuff. Hi, Sonny. How you doing? Welcome to the Roundtable. Thanks for being here. Oh, Latte says he irons for you. Husband, you iron for me?
Every day.
Every day. Well, have you seen me iron as the alternative? I mean, that is the question. Here's the hot take. It's smoking. So our hot take of the question. If you won the Powerball tomorrow, is it tomorrow? Saturday. If you win the Powerball on Saturday, what is the first thing that you would buy? It's over 500 million. What is the first thing you would buy if you won the Powerball is our hot take question of the week. Hello. Adrian says, amen. Adrian went viral on TikTok. She had over 1,000 comments. She had over 30,000 views for her political commentary about sexism. So you could check out Adrian on TikTok. Hi, Kayla. Thanks for being here, my Kayla. Kayla is a student of mine. I love it. Adrian says she irons for John, too. Latte says, I love you, Darius. My mom says, hi, Robert and Darius and everyone. Let's get started. Tell me your answer. What would you buy if you won the Powerball? And here is this week's Week in Review. Where's the button? Well, the whole screen got real big. So this week was a good week. You know, we started the week with the kids and all of that stuff, which is a big thing for teachers the first week. But here's my first day of school. Thank you for all the love you all sent. That was an outfit styled and ironed by Darius. There we are on the first day with my little kiddos over there at the Detroit Lions Academy. And I have my classroom. My new classroom is really nice. I never had a smart board before. I never had nice easels and all sorts of things and tables. So it's been an adventure to try to get the routine down, because the routine is such a big thing. So I would really love to get the routine down and how they do things over there at the Detroit Lions Academy. And then we're going to come in there and we're going to get it together. But I really have had a good time. It's been a good week. Everyone's been super nice and sweet to me. So I love that. Hi, Aunt Fran. I see you here. Darius says hi to Mom and Aunt Fran as well. See, the love is real, everybody. All of the love is out here. So what did we do? Well, I went to the Detroit Lions game. Here I was at the outside of the Detroit Lions clubhouse with my sister, Darius' sister, my sister-in-law. There's Renee. and we went to the game. The Detroit Lions Academy is funded by the Detroit Lions. They gave everyone tickets, and the Lions won. And I learned about football. Look at that field. You have 4 chances to go 10 yards, or you kick a ball, or you throw a ball, or you run a ball, and there's like orange flags and helmets, and there's a lion mascot. You want to see the lion? He's so cute. Take a look at the lion. I think I found my new job. I can do that. I used to be the Easter Bunny and the Santa Claus at D&G, where my dad and my aunt own. So if they have the lion mascot job comes up, I think that's a perfect weekend part-time job. It's Sundays. I'm off. I can do a little, everybody put your to the floor if you say so. Did you see that? I look like Elaine from Seinfeld. So it was really fun. I had a great time at the game, and they won, so it was even better. And then over the weekend, one of Darius's family homes needed to have a porch put in. So if you need manual labor and you need things to get done, and it requires saws, and it requires hammers and nails, and requires levelers and lumber, who else are you going to call but Robert Bannon? Right? Look at us here. Look at me, sweating, measuring things, teaching Darius how to use a power tool. If you believe that, you're absolutely ridiculous. That was a staged photo. He did all of the work. He's really doing all of the work, putting together and fixing things. You need your house fixed up. He's not going to do it for you, but he'll do it for us, and he can do everything. So it's really grateful that he knows to take his skill set, because I don't even know what I would ever do. Ever. So we had a great week. So it was work. It was family. It was the Lions game. It was the gym. We joined a gym here. We went together as a family the other day, trying to get into wedding shape because we're less than 9 months from the wedding. So all's well here in Detroit. So everyone who sends their love or worries about me, we're good. Everything is great here, and we're doing a great job. And I appreciate you all so much for all of the love that you all send me. All right. So it's time for the shameless plug. I believe. Oh, look, and he brought me coffee the other day. I just woke up and he said that he irons and buys me Dunkin'. Come on, people. All right. I'm grateful. Let's go for the shameless plug. 'Cause I'm shameless. Look, the controversy of I think next week's show, we may have to ask about ironing or chores, because Latte says, Darius, I love to iron. People bust my chops over it. I just tell them I don't look like I just rolled out of bed. Well, for 39 years, if my mom didn't iron for me, I looked like I rolled out of bed. But Darius can iron, and he gets it together. Look, she ironed her kid's uniform for school every morning. Oh, he would do the same. He would absolutely do the same. So I love that. Hey, whatever floats your boat, I'm here for it. So, here on the Roundtable, we are on the Broadway Podcast Network, and we have some new episodes. I took about 2 weeks off of the Broadway Podcast Network the weeks that I moved here. I was not on the podcast every day, but the podcast is back up. There's new episodes all this week and next week. Shawnee, an international recording artist, 500,000 followers, millions of albums streamed. We had a great conversation about world music and what it means to make adult contemporary music. That's up. As you know, the Roundtable on Fridays is also on Broadway World. So if you want to hear the Roundtable on the Podcast Network, go to BroadwayPodcastNetwork.com. And if you look on the Broadway World podcast, the Roundtable is there every Friday with an exclusive chat that you don't see here on the YouTube or Facebook show. It's only there. So tomorrow, Haley Kaleem Wright, who is the alternate of Satine in Moulin Rouge on Broadway, she was in Paradise Square. She was one of the queens in Six, one of the wives of Henry VIII, and she's now Satine on Broadway. She sits down with me 2 weeks from tomorrow. The tour's cast of Moulin Rouge and the Satine on tour coming to Detroit sits down with me. So we have a lot of great Moulin Rouge content. The editor at Broadway World today, when I sent her the one from Detroit, was like, okay, we covered Moulin Rouge. We sure did. We covered Moulin Rouge. So if you want to see those, you can go to robertbannon.com. You can follow me on Instagram at Robert M. Bannon. And you could get more information, the links and all the information of our Broadway World and podcast every day episodes, except Saturday and Sunday, are up now. Next week, joining me here as we continue talking about American Idol, the one and only Idol winner, platinum recording artist, Chris Allen, joins us right after Labor Day on September 5th. He will be here to talk about his brand new album, and we will definitely sing a little Live Like You're Dying. Oh, I love that song. That's a good song. So Chris Allen joins us next Thursday, so make sure you stop on by on the Roundtable and check it out. That's my shameless plug. There'll be more Christmas shows and other events. My music is streaming wherever you hear music. You can listen to this. You could listen to Rewind, the live album. The music's all out. The links are at robertbannon.com or look for me on Spotify. A lot of you have been listening to it, so thank you. I appreciate you all to pieces. Good stuff. Darius says it's his love language. Latte says marry him. Yes, I am. It is his love language. He's an acts of service kind of guy, and he shows it every single day. Special. Hi, David. Oh, David, thanks for joining us. I appreciate you being here from the down south. Oh, you know what? Speaking of Broadway World, Douglas Lyons, who wrote Chicken and Biscuits for Broadway, he wrote a show called Table 17. We talked about it. If someone from your past called, would you meet for lunch? Listen to what he had to say about our time here on the Roundtable. I was so grateful for this. He's a good guy. He used to live with my old music director, James. James was my music director before Yaz, and they were roommates. And then he took off and became a superstar. Take a peek.
Hello, happy Friday. So Broadway World just posted an interview. I did a roundtable with Biko, who's Dallas, and Table 17. We were interviewed by Robert Bannon, and it's really cool. So it
was a little clip. He goes on to talk about what an experience it was. So I was grateful to talk to them, and a lot of people seem to like it. So thank you, everybody, and thank you to my friends at Press Room PR for setting that up. I love it. It was a good one. Hi, Rosemary. My friend Rosemary, I love you, my Bergen County friend, and thank you. I appreciate you. My sister-in-law cut my hair yesterday and shaved my face, and we've been growing it a little long because that's the way the mans likes it, and I like it too. It makes me look like I have more hair than I really do. I appreciate it, and I love you, Rosemary. All right, let's keep the show going. Are you ready for? Okay, listen. I have a confession.
You better lose yourself in the music the moment you own it. What up, though?
So last week, I promised you that I was going to drink a Werner's and a Faygo soda. But we had an appointment. And so I did 4 interviews after work from 3:30 till 5:15. And then I went to an appointment, and then I didn't buy the Faygo and the Werner's. So will you all forgive me? And can we have the Faygo Werner's Ginger Ale Detroit Challenge next week? I apologize. And I promise you, maybe my husband's going to go get it. I have money.
Burners.
Faygo.
And ginger ale.
Oh my goodness, he's going to go get us it. We're going to do it. Stay tuned. Well, I'll keep talking. Yes, it's my... Hi, Judy. Yes, Judy. Hello to Judy and everyone at the Roundtable family. Thank you. Hi, Alyssa. Back to school, fresh cut. You know I had to have a fresh cut. See, I don't shave my face anymore. That's my New Year's resolution. I don't shave my face anymore. I let the barber do it. When your sister-in-law's a barber, that's good. Hi, Madison. Thanks for being here. Hey, Mama Judy. Adrian says, did I see Wendy Williams with her son? She looks good. She was at a health food store in Newark, New Jersey, and she had a cute wig on, and she looked good. I did see her, and it made me really happy. I hope she's doing well. You know, we love how you doing? We love Wendy here on the Roundtable. All right, what do I have for you? Oh, hey, friend, hey.
I'll be there for you. How you doing?
So, you know, one of my favorite people, and a lot of you have said over and over again, one of your favorite interviews is Miss Lunel herself. Lunel has been in Vegas, and she's at Jimmy Kimmel's Comedy Club every Sunday and Monday over there in Vegas. It was at the Mirage. And so she's up for best comedian on the Strip, which is great. And you could vote for her and you could go to her Instagram. But she sent me a video the other day. I check on her because I love her to pieces. And I sent her a video and she sent me a video back. And I went to play it again and save it because she asked about getting married and Darius and all that stuff. And it was one of those videos that she sent and it went away. Like you could send a video on Instagram and you click it and it goes away. And I couldn't save it. And I'm so sad because I love Lunel. So I want to say, hey girl, I sent her a video back. She asked, what does my man look like? And is he black? Because I live in Detroit. God help me. Not the most PC conversation. But here's our video. I don't have Lunel's video, but I have my video back. I wanted to show you my man, my Detroit husband, and my sister in the back. When you come to Motor City, we're out. Thanks, Auntie Lunel. I'm so mad. Why can't I get the video? Why do they disappear? This isn't Snapchat. Why do the videos disappear? So, hey, Lunel, we're proud of you and we'll be voting for you. And we know that there's nobody more deserving of that than you. Here's time for my favorite thing.
You get a car! You get a car! You get a car! You get a car!
So yesterday on America's Got Talent, the one and only Lauren Allred was back. And she sang a song from her album in a duet with the original artist. I just want to say that when we get ready in the morning here, the #1 album EP on our playlist is the Lauren Allred. Now, if you don't know Lauren Allred is the one who sang Never Enough and The Greatest Showman. And her voice is so bananas. And when her next single comes out, she will come to the Roundtable. We had her here for Motor City Pride. She's a sweetheart. She's a gem. We love, love, love the Lauren Allred so much. She is just a great, great person. She was so sweet and wonderful to everybody. She was somebody that her show was in the rain during Pride. So when the show was over, she asked us to gather her fans, people that waited in the rain. She took pictures with everyone. She signed autographs with everyone. She's a class act through and through. She was amazing on the show last night, and I just wanted to give her a shout out. She has an EP out. The EP is called I Hear Your Voice, which is a gorgeous song about lost love. Her version of Never Enough is on here, plus my favorite, which is Last Thing I'll Ever Need, a cover of Rainbow by Casey Musgraves. I just got to give Lauren Allred a shout out. We listened to the EP this morning. If you have music and you love music and you're looking for something fun, good, calm, clean the house, iron your clothes, Lauren Allred's album is on Spotify, Apple, Tidal, Amazon, wherever you listen to music. Make sure you definitely check it out. It is definitely worth the price of admission. It is great. So shout out to you, Lauren Allred. We love the Lauren Allred experience. All right, so that's my intro to this shenanigans. Some of you told me about your answer to our big old question, which is if you won the Powerball, what would you do? That $500 million. So let's look at some of the answers that we got. We got a bunch of fun answers. And Darius, oh my gosh, he's the fastest man in this side of the Mississippi. I don't think we've crossed the Mississippi. But what did people say? We have some fun answers. We have, you're the best. He says he is. Adrian would buy a fence for the yard so Chewy could run outside. I love that. Fencing in the yard is important because we definitely want to make sure that our doggies stay safe. I love that answer. Marie says real estate for sure. I really would like to have my own music hall. I want to give the opportunity to artists who are starting out to have a place where they can perform for free. Oh, that is really nice. I love that answer. What a beautiful answer. Let's see what else we've got on the list. Sunny says she would buy a house. I hear that. Sounds good to me. We have Christine, not sure the first thing with the amount of money. I would want much of that money to go towards music, arts, and public school programs and animal rescue shelters across America. Well, that was so nice. That was a really nice answer. I love those answers. I thought about you because we talk about what would happen if you win the lottery. And Latte said, I would help a friend in need, then pay for my medical insurance. I hear that. Medical insurance is important. Next up, furnish my new place, bank the rest for future travel. I love it. Good for you, Lattes. Lattes' new place is coming this week. You better live your best life, Lattes. Madison says she'd take a trip to Paris. I like that. A trip to Paris sounds good to me. I love that. What great answers you have. I think I'd buy a house too. More houses. Get all the houses. Can never have enough real estate, as they say. All right, now let's play the Detroit graphics again because now I'm ready. I'm playing it again because I worked hard on this opening.
You better lose yourself in the music the moment you own it. What up, though?
So last week we ate the Uncle Ray's and the Better Made. Controversially, I picked Uncle Ray's. I've been learning the culture of the Midwest. I've been learning the culture of Detroit. I've been learning the culture of Michigan. And I heard so much about Faygo soda. This is Faygo soda. And I have never drank Faygo soda because Faygo soda is there. I can't find the diet in the convenience stores or the gas stations, but it's a famous brand from Detroit. And then the other day, one time Darius didn't feel well and he had a Verner's ginger ale. And I have never heard of Verner's ginger ale in my life, the original ginger soda. But a lot of people have said, which is another Detroit product, a lot of people have said they prefer Verner's ginger ale. I did an interview with a singer in Detroit this week. It will be on next week. His name's Jamel Green. Jamel, when I said to him, Faygo or Verner's, Jamel said that Faygo is fine, but Verner's is in a class of its own. In Detroit, if you're sick, you get soup and Verner's. You don't feel well, it's Verner's, only Verner's. So we're going to try the Faygo soda first. Cold. Darius got it. Darius, do you have a preference?
Yes. Burners, of course.
He says Verner's, of course. Well, Faygo is nice. It tastes like regular old ginger ale. Like a ginger ale like you would get at the ShopRite or the Stop and Shop. What do you guys have here? Ralph's? No. The Meyer. Here's the famous Verner's. Oh, that's hard.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so here's I wish you had smell-o-taste-o vision. I loved your real lattes, by the way, and I gotta get more info on that. I gotta talk to you about that for sure. So this is my take. Faygo tastes like regular ginger ale, like Canada Dry. What's the other favorite? Schweppes. Tastes like ginger ale. This tastes like a ginger different thing. What is this? How do they make this? That tastes more like ginger than
It makes a great tea.
you warm it up.
Drop a Halls in it.
Warm it up. Drop a Halls in it. Ooh, that's good. Verner's is unique. Faygo is basic. Like Faygo is Becky with the good hair, and Verner's is Beyonce. You know what I'm saying? The kids know. What up, though, Detroit? I think next week we're going to do 2 different pizza places. What do you think of that? Maybe we'll get a hot and ready from Little Caesars and Hungry Howie's or whatever Detroit-style pizza. Thank you for joining me on my journey to figure out the best of Detroit. Verner's for the win. Uncle Ray's and Verner's. It's official. I had the great chance to talk to Chilina Kennedy. Chilina's a great, great artist. She was Carole King for over 1,200 shows. She's been in a lot of Broadway shows. She has a brand new musical that she wrote herself. Wow. And she's here for the first time on the Roundtable. Take a peek. Oh my gosh. We're so a mess today. Everybody, I'm so excited for our next guest because our next guest I have seen on Broadway. Combined, we have a whole bunch of Broadway credits together. I have 0 and she has a whole bunch. And right now she is on Broadway in The Great Gatsby, but I've seen her in Beautiful and I have seen her in she has sung the 60s and the 70s and the 80s and she's sung all the songs we love. Now she writes songs. She puts on her own shows. I'm just so excited that you're here. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. You are so sweet. What a nice introduction. I'm happy to be here.
I'm so excited for you to be here. I did have the pleasure of seeing you in Beautiful on Broadway. I live for the Carole King music. I live for your voice.
Oh
I live for what you're able to do with that. When I joke and say you sung the songs of generations, like you really have sung some of the greatest songs of all time on stage.
I have been very fortunate to have done that. Yes, that is true.
And now you come here because you just have too much time on your hands? What is the story? You just decide to write and be and like why What have you been working on? Tell us.
Well, a few things. I'm obviously involved in some performing projects. I'm in Gatsby on Broadway right now, playing Myrtle, and I'm playing Billie Jean in a new play about Billie Jean King, which is directed by the same director, Mark Bruni, which is very exciting, which is in development. And we did a production at La Jolla last summer, and we're doing two workshops in the fall. And then I've written a couple of shows, and one of them is called Wild About You. And we just did a incredible fully staged concert version in London starring Eric McCormack and Todrick Hall and Rachel Tucker. And we did that 2 sold out performances a few months ago. And we've released a concept album with like incredible people like Lea Salonga and Joaquina Calacango and Jesse Mueller and Catherine McPhee, just some amazing artists. So working on that.
So can you tell us a little bit about Wild About You? Because we've had people on and we have talked about Wild About You on this show.
Oh my God.
We are quite fans of this. We have listened, we have heard, we have been a part of it. How did you come about this show? How did this come to you? And tell us a little bit about what the show is.
Okay, I will. I will sort of give you like the Coles Notes version. So I run a theater company in Canada, and the old artistic director and executive producer, who are 2 very good friends of mine, were like, "Hey, you should turn your songs into a song cycle." And I was like, "Terrible idea, move on." And they were like, "No, give it a chance." I was like, "Okay, but if it sucks, you have to tell me." So I put together this idea, and I was really good friends with Mark Schneider, who was the resident director of Beautiful on Broadway at the time. And he was like, "I have a really great friend who's an incredible writer. His name is Eric Holmes. He's one of the writers on The Good Fight and Smash." And I was like, "Oh my gosh, he's so accomplished. Is he going to want to work with me?" And anyway, he sent the material to Eric. Eric listened to it and he loved it. And 24 hours later, he had a script. And I remember sitting on my parents' couch. I was visiting them at the time, reading it and crying and going, "Oh my God, how does this person that I've never even met get my material and understand me deeper than so many people who have known me for years?" And we have been now writing partners for the last 6 years. And so he and I wrote the show together, basically. And a lot of it was based on my original album, but so much of it has changed. Like it's only about half that material, and I've rewritten or written brand new songs for the show. And the story is basically, it's changed a little bit over the years, but the heart of it is still the same. So it's basically a woman who's at a crossroads in her life, and she has to unpack like 20 years worth of memories in order to discover the key to her life. And it's a love story between her and the great loves of her life. But what we end up realizing is that it's a love story between her and her child, the greatest love of her life. And it's a story about redemption and forgiveness and second chances. And I don't want to give any spoilers away because there's some pretty big surprises in the show, but that's basically what it's about.
Well, Wild About You, which is the album Broadway Records, and now they have a new name. And Robbie Roselle is a good friend of our show, and the people over at Broadway Records, and they put
stage now, center stage.
Thank you.
Yes.
See, one of us is very prepared. And so you and this album come out. What is it like when you write a song with your songwriting partner? You come up with this idea, you place these songs in, you tell these characters parts, and then you have to give these babies up to other artists and hear their interpretation and put them out to the world. What is that process like?
Okay, well, I have to say, so with Wild About You, so I've written the music and lyrics entirely by myself, and Eric has written the book. So
Okay.
he's responsible for the book. But that is actually really helpful because he goes, "Hey, why don't you take a look at this lyric and maybe let's think about this song?" And I'm like, "Well, what about this moment?" Like we really help each other to make each other better. And there's nothing precious about it. Like we can kill any of our babies at any time. If it doesn't serve the story, it doesn't work. And we always say, and we have a wonderful other collaborator, Daniel Edmonds, who did all the arrangements and orchestrations for the show. And he's our musical director. And he's one of the most brilliant musicians I've ever met. And so we always say to each other, whatever the best idea in the room, whichever idea, it doesn't matter whose it is, it's the best idea wins. And so we sort of try to have this, I mean, obviously your ego gets involved occasionally, but you have to remember that it's not about you. We're all serving something greater than ourselves and our one voice, and like I always say, geez, this is a famous quote, but like I repeat it constantly. You cannot play a symphony by yourself. It takes an entire orchestra to play a symphony. We're all brilliant individually, but when we get together, we're even stronger. So I really always appreciate my collaborators. I think, art, like theater especially, is collaborative art form, and I always try to remember that. I also have to say I love that the names here match the logo of Wild About You, and so do my nails.
Yes, come on. Look at all the pink. We're pinking it up. Look at that heart. There it
Thanks,
is. Come
Wild About
on,
You.
pink. Well, that's you're meant to be here. That's it. So the album, we could stream the music right now. The music is available.
Right now, you can stream it.
Stream the you could, beginning to end, the entire thing. And then you did your run, which you talked about, Eric McCormick and Todd Call and all these Rachel Tucker, all these famous, fancy, amazing singers. What was it like to see it on stage as opposed to a recording studio and as opposed to a workshop in front of people?
Obsessed. I don't know that I've ever had a more incredible moment in my life. I was sitting there next to Eric, and my family was in the audience, my son, who's 9, and my parents. And I remember like the first night, like I was scared to death. I ran out the door at intermission. I hid in the bathroom. all my agents were there. And I just was like, listen, if they don't leave, if they clap, I will be happy. And at the end, oh my God, I'm going to cry just telling you about it. Everyone leapt to their feet, and I turned to Eric Holmes' husband. Oh my God, they loved it. I couldn't believe it. It was one of the best experiences of my life. And it taught us so much because, they were a very forgiving audience and very positive, and they were very supportive in terms of it was the first time we've ever had it in front of an audience before, like a paying audience. So now we know exactly what works, what we need to clarify in terms of the story, and we've made rewrites, and it was just so helpful.
I can only imagine it had to be thrilling. So now my question to you is, I have friends who, as do you, but you are one, who write shows, who write musicals, who write song cycles, who write original works of art. In this climate, in this world, it is hard to get original works of art put up on regionally, on tours, on Broadway, off Broadway. So what can we do as the public who falls in love with this story, who falls in love with this music, who streams it, to help support, get the word out that we need to see this in the United States or in London or wherever we can? What can we do as the general public?
Well, I think just what you are doing, just listen to it, share it, post about it, talk about it. I think that's really helpful. Nobody ever gets anywhere without, the public, right? The fans, the people who go to see shows. Like Gatsby is what Gatsby is, because of the people who come and see it and post on TikTok. And oh, there she is. And we've had some really wonderful fans of Wild About You, like since the beginning. And Jen Colell has been involved since the very beginning. She's fantastic in it. And a lot of people are repeat, like they come and they see, everything that we do. They follow us on the socials, and I think that's just the way to do it.
Absolutely. You talk about the theater fan, the TikTok fan, this new world that we are literally all living in. I teach musical theater in New Jersey Performing Arts Center, and my students are obsessed with The Great Gatsby. Like they have gone and go, and it may have a little bit to do with Jordan, but it has a lot to do.
I've never been in a show before where we have to the show stops because of people screaming in the audience. Like it has been. I've also never been to a show where people dress up so much. If you get to the stage where people are in full headdresses and the 1920s dresses, like they are all about it. They are such fans of the material. But it feels like a big party. Like why wouldn't they be? Of course they are. I would be excited to come and see the show too.
Of course they are. Well, when you see Jordan later for the show, you tell him that the young lady, I have to remind them, he's a nice, married, good man. He does not, these girls are 16. They're fighting. He's my boyfriend. I'm going to be with this man. They love him and his voice, and they love the show. It must be interesting to be on a Broadway show while working on a Broadway show and seeing the business and the world of it. How do you it's a hard business because it's a business and art. So what advice do you have for creatives who have to live with both hats?
Well, that's a really good question. I think it's important to separate the two. I also run a theater company in Canada, so I get it. Like, you got to do both, of course, in this world. It is a business, but I think it's important to separate those two things. I think you've got to keep the art in the art lane. You know this, right, from what you do, and you've got to keep the business side on the business side. And it's great to have, we have a wonderful lead producer on Wild About You, Brian Spector, who is just an excellent. He loves the art. It all comes from the right place. He's so passionate about the arts, but he's got such a great business sense. And we kind of have to trust him with that, and then allow our creative juices to kind of go down the other lane and just allow it to be about the show. So I think it's kind of like lane hopping sometimes, and it's the same thing with our other show that we're writing, Silk, which is the name is in development, but it's the same kind of thing. We have an incredible lead producer, and she is really excited about it, and it comes from the right place, and she's so heart-centered, but she's got a great business mind, and that's what you need in a lead producer.
Well, Silk, another musical, is based on the Lady's Paradise, a novel by Zola, is coming as soon as well. Plus, you have other shows. Plus, you talked about your artistic producer, and you are a part of the Eclipse Theater Company. So you really keep yourself. You guys work.
You know what? It's so funny because I don't think of myself as a workaholic, and I really try to take like my time to have free time, but I just love it so much. I can't stop myself. It's like, if there's an exciting project, yes, I want to do it. You can't hold me back. I love it.
How did you describe playing real life people? I mean, we talked about Carol, which we have some, walk down memory lane moments. Like here is beautiful, and here is a little Paradise Square moment.
Oh,
and
love her.
And here is a throwback, older school photo of Jesus Christ. When you play real people, if it's Carole King or if it's Billie Jean King, you have a thing about people with the last name King.
Apparently I do, or the first name Carol. I also just played a woman with the name, a million names, Carol. Carol. So it's Carol or King or a combination of King. I'm working with Mark Bruni because Mark Bruni's the same. He's like,
what's it like when you play a real life person? What was it like when you get to meet Billie Jean King and create a character based on her life?
Well, there's a tremendous amount of pressure, let me just say, like that, but because to me, like, these women are such icons, like what Carole King did for the music industry and for women, what Billie Jean King has done for the LGBTQ plus community, for women, for feminism, for equality, like equal pay, and all everywhere. But sports, I mean, my gosh, she's changed the world. We owe so much to her. Politics, she I just do my best to I don't want to ever do like a Saturday Night Live version, impression of them, because I think that sometimes comes across as a bit false, or something put on top of me as the actor. But I think if it can come through you if it can come through me in an organic way, I always sort of describe it as like the rainbow of personality. So if Carole King is a yellow and I'm a red, Chilina's a red, well, my version of Carol is probably going to be a bit more orange. It's going to veer hopefully more towards the yellow, but I'm going to try my best to let it move through me in her way. So I love studying mannerisms. I love getting like the overall energy of the character. Like Billie Jean is such like Carol. She's like everything you want her to be and more. She's so cool. I've done like Zoom. Her and her wife have called me from Paris, and we've had great chats. And I went and the first time I saw a tennis match ever was at the U.S. Open last year, and I sat in their box and I watched all of them win. Like I saw Coco, and I saw is it Jovovich?
Yes.
Djokovic.
Djokovic.
I don't know anything about tennis, so the fact that I'm even remembering these names is impressive to me. Anyway, I got to see everything in action, like from their perspective. And, I've watched her play tennis. Oh my God, I've studied videos, and she is just so kind. Like she shared, just like Carole King did, they've shared so much of who they are in their lives with me. And I just feel so honored that they trust me to continue that legacy. So I'm thrilled.
Well, if I had your voice and I had your skill set, I would trust you with I don't have the last name King, but when I would trust you with my life story as well. The track record is proven. I would also trust you to tell a story with music and words. You have a rumor. I don't know if it's announced yet, but are you doing a concert? Is there a way we could see you sing some of these songs? Is that true? Is there a concert maybe this fall?
It hasn't been announced yet, but there may or may not be a concert on October the 6th happening where I may or may not be involved with some other folks.
So we should follow you on social media or stay up to your website so that you see that maybe if there is a concert coming, that some people may see you and be able.
Yes, me and some other people. Yes.
Oh, let's do that. Oh, that sounds good to me. I'm excited to hear that for sure. Is there music? You have your own music. You put out other albums.
Well, only my one album. But yes, the goal I've had a goal in the works for a few years now to put out another album. There's just not enough time. There are not enough hours in the day, but that's my goal is to put out an album of like all my favorites, like roles that I've played over the years and, a few things from each. I think would be really fun.
Well, that's because you stay booked. You're booked and you have 6 shows you're doing right now at the same time.
Well, it's good to stay busy.
That's right. Stay busy. It's good to stay. Well, right now, we can be listening to your original musical, Wild About You, which is streaming wherever music is heard. So no matter what platform you use, no matter where you get it, you can make sure you get it, or you can buy the album on iTunes, or you could listen to it on whatever platform, like we said, you use. So we can do that. We can see you for a few more moments in The Great Gatsby over at the Broadway, and we can see you in this show.
Until September 22nd.
You have a month. A month, so you better there's not many tickets left.
No, it is selling out, which is great.
And then we're all going to follow you, and we're going to all follow you so we can see what's coming up this fall, because as these shows that you're working on and your original show continues to grow and evolve, we want to know where we can see it and support it and be a part of what's going on.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
I want to thank you because you come from Canada. You come here to work on musical. Where in Canada did you grow up?
Oh, listen, I'm an Army brat, so I lived all over the world. I lived all over Canada and the US and Australia and England. So, I mean, yeah, I'm from Canada, but I'm now a resident of the US. So I'm sort of like a world citizen.
Well, you took your world citizenship and made a home base here in New York and shared your services and your voice and your talent with us on Broadway. And we are all the better for it, because there are people who travel all around this country, like those students I was talking about, that see your work and get inspired to do what you do. So thank you, because you show up every day to do work that means something to us. So I want to thank you for the love and joy and the originality, like the new musicals out here in the world. Let's go.
Thank you. I want to thank you for your support and also for being a teacher. Let me just say that teachers do not get enough credit. I've taught a few times in my life, and it is not easy. And I think what you do is amazing. So thank you for everything that you do and for supporting the arts the way that you do. It's amazing.
Well, it's a lifeline to, I know, all of our lives. Truly saves our lives, all of us. So
Absolutely.
I can't wait to see what you got up your sleeves, because I know it's going to be something fun. You're a good time.
Thanks. Well, so are you. I'd hang out with you anytime.
Anytime. I'll see you over at the Great Gatsby. I have not seen it. Don't tell anyone.
Oh my God, please come. And then please come backstage afterwards and I'll take you around for a tour.
All right, that's a promise.
Okay.
That's a date. How great is she? So sweet. Such a sweetheart. You can see her at the Great Gatsby on Broadway Theater. At the Broadway Theater. That's what it's called. And you could also listen to her album. It's streaming right now. Robbie Roselle had a part in that album. We love that Robbie Roselle. So great to see him. As Marie says, it's so nice to do what you love, because then it's not really work. Oh, some days it feels like work, but it's better than, I don't know, ironing. Well, speaking of people who perform and are great performers, Nicolas King and Seth Sikes. I heard of Nicolas King. He put out an album. You'll hear me talk about it. The same time I put out Unfinished Business, and he had Jane Monheit on his album as well. And Nicolas followed me after my album came out, because we run in the same cabaret circles. And then I found out that Liza Minnelli is his godmother. He's like showbiz royalty. And you'll find out why and how Liza's his godmother. And Seth Sikes is such an interpreter of the Great American Songbook. They got together and they started a show, and their show has now toured them all around the entire country. Hi, feline friend. How you doing? Thanks for being here. That's my cat friends from Jersey City, the cats with the 2 daddies. Thanks for being here. So we have the incredible Seth Sikes and Nicolas King. Can you imagine Liza Minnelli being your godmother? Oh my goodness. That's what I would do with my Powerball winning. Seth Sikes and Nicolas King are here. Take a peek. Well, in this world of music, especially in New York City or cabaret or I don't know what, jazz, there are people that perform and you hear about their performances. Why have I never seen Seth and Nicolas' show? What? I've listened to Nicolas's album. When I put out Unfinished Business, he put out it and he jumped me and had a duet with Jane Monheit, and it was gorgeous, and probably more gorgeous than my duet with Jane Monheit. Not because Jane Monheit's not gorgeous, because of my vocal performance. And so that just goes to show you what I met and heard of Nicolas. He's never been here. Seth has never been here, but they sell more tickets than I do in New York City. They sell tickets everywhere, and I'm a hater. So we're just going to address all the hate right now and become best friends. Nicolas King, Seth Sikes, welcome to the round table.
That's the best introduction I've ever heard.
I just have an unfiltered Jersey mouth. I can't help it. But
I love
if
that.
I see it, I can't help it.
That's hysterical. How are you?
I'm wonderful. I'm so happy you both are here. I'm so
happy.
happy you're coming back to New York City. Broadway's living room right here. The new Belters sing MGM in September with the one and only Billy Stritch. How did you all start working together?
You take it.
Well, I've known who he was for a while because he's Nicolas King, and he has. I'm a huge Liza fan, and
That's the only reason.
that's the only reason I tried to use him just to get to Liza. No, and
Hey,
I met
That's
him.
why you're here.
I always say that Judy and Liza brought us together because everything always comes back to them. He likes to roll his eyes.
Well, that sounds a little woo-woo.
It is woo-woo. It's
I don't know
true.
that's woo-woo. I think it's our mutual admiration of Judy and Liza. And maybe that's more.
Okay, so we had met. We had met in passing, but one night, late at night, it was 2 days before Judy Garland's 100th birthday. I was doing a big Judy night at 54 Below with all these guest stars, and I passed him 2 days before. Had been drinking, and I was like, Nicolas King, and he was like,
You. No, I sort of peripherally knew who, is that a word? Peripherally, yeah, knew who Seth was because I'd seen his pandemic videos. He did a lot of pandemic parody videos that went viral during the pandemic time, and so I've seen his clips and such, but I'd never seen him live before, and I just so happened to have that night free.
I said, I wish I'd asked you to come and be a part of this, this Judy night, and he was like,
well, I just had a gig cancel. I said, well, fine, I'll be there. I was so depressed because it was such a good gig and I really wanted to do the gig and it was all off. I went, sure. And so I'd rather, go to 54 Below and see this show. And I just loved the show. I loved what he did. I can't believe it took me so long to see him in concert. And it was so impressive to me to see somebody, in our generation that loves this music. And I was so blown away at how much he respected the material, how much he wasn't trying to do Judy, he wasn't doing any of that stuff, but he was just doing his passionate take on it, and of course his talent is just incredible. But it was so wonderful to watch, and it filled me with such inspiration that after the show I grabbed him by the shoulders. I said, I don't know what it is that we have to do. We have to do either a duet, maybe it's an album, maybe it's a nightclub act, maybe it's a party trick that we do. I have to work with you. This was just too much fun.
And
we the same language.
We skipped a little part, which is that we did a number together. We just rehearsed it over the phone,
right,
and threw it together and did 2 songs. And during sound check, we were like, oh, this is fun. We should do something. We should do more. So that's how the club act was born.
But I shook him after the show, and he looked at me like I had 6 heads, and he went, ah.
Wait, so you, Seth, you do these shows. You were doing these shows, these tribute shows. If it's Streisand, if it's Liza, if it's Judy, you've been known for these shows where you sing these great, amazing songs. Nicolas has been singing since, I don't know, he's 2 days old, and he's been out on the road, literally working since like 5. Is that true? Right? Young.
Yeah. Well, about 4.5. But yes.
4.5.
Yeah, right.
So when you guys come together, you have such this litany of musical reverence, and you have so much history, and the music, the stories behind the songs. Plus, you have great chemistry together. So the show is not just a snoozy, right? There you go. It's not some snoozy, let me just sing you 12, 13 songs and we all go home. You guys put on this is an old school show. Like, you are joking and singing and stories, and it is a party.
Well, and I think this was part of my misunderstanding, because I didn't know what Seth did, and I just thought, oh, it's another boy singing, songs of the great dames of times gone by, and I just thought that's so not interesting to me until I saw it, and I thought, oh, that's not this at all. I mean, I was just so impressed. He just dove into the material and treats it with such respect and sings his ass off, and it was everything that I loved.
I like to write parody lyrics and make them current, or so we do a lot of that too in our act, our new act. The first act, the New Belters, which we did for 2 years, like 100 times, was
but
fun.
Who's counting?
Was this us saluting our these showstoppers, these like legend, what do we call them?
Well, like our musical heroes, the people
heroes.
Yeah.
And then our new show, which is what we're promoting here today, was our.
That's what we're promoting?
I think so.
I thought we were doing a commercial for Noom. Anyway, that's it.
is all MGM. Which
All MGM, and the tickets are available at 54below.org, and you can follow Nicolas on Instagram without the H, because H
That's
is
right.
right, as they said on your page. And we could go to Seth's. Is there? Did I miss an S? Is
yeah,
that?
that's okay. They'll find me that. Seth Sikes.
Oh my goodness! See, this we're how unprofessional can look. We fix things quick here on this show. And I say quick, and now it's frozen. Well, you know where you. There.
Yeah.
Boom. You can follow on Instagram. You can get your tickets because their shows sell out. Now, you guys have said the Belter show what you did for a long time. I saw you guys were in other countries. You guys were across this country. You guys had the chance to perform it all over the place. What is it like? New York is one thing. LA is one thing. What was it like when you went to these places that don't get to hear this music? There's got to be a clamoring. There's a desire to hear these great American songbook songs.
I think so. I mean, I think that, you find, I think that the audiences, of course, in New York and, more metropolitan cities are just rabid for it because they're used to it. They love it. It's all this stuff. But then you get to some of these other places. Like we played Carmel, Indiana. We played, some more like little tiny places and, Pittsfield, Massachusetts. And at first glance, you think, oh, are they going to be hip to this? Are they going to love it? And they do. And, they might be a little bit more quiet, a little more stunned, what's being hurled at them. But they all really respond to it so well. And I think that's the reason why we've kept doing it, is because the response has been so overwhelmingly positive. And plus, we enjoy doing it. We both have wanderlust like crazy. So we love to travel, and any excuse just to get out of our apartments is wonderful, but it's always such a joy to meet these crowds, even in these tiny places that you don't expect. Such a wonderful outcome, and they're very supportive, which is really encouraging.
So I love it, Seth. So here's the controversial question of the whole entire interview.
Okay.
Just one?
Oh well, we could come up with more, but Seth, you guys put a show together. Right, you have these cutest things that you all do. Like we have little moments and these moments of the show that you do together. You have this banter. You have a time where you sing. You have a time where Nicolas sings. But when you're building the show and you're coming up with a list of songs, do you disagree? Do you guys argue? How do you compromise to build an evening of music?
We actually really gel well when it comes to decision making. We're very much on the same page when it comes to taste and things, and there are certain things I'm more excited about than he, but then I bring him around, or vice versa. Nicolas is more musical than me, and so he's better. He's good with the arrangements and the feels and all that stuff, and I really like writing parody lyrics and like coming up with concepts, and so we split it, but we haven't. I don't think we've ever fought over anything.
About the show
wise.
I mean, it's really kind of cool in the sense of when you do meet people that speak your same language. I mean, and I've always said the best thing about doing this duo act is like, we both have certain different strengths and different weaknesses, and where one sort of drops, the other one picks the other one up, and it's kind of cool that that we can jive in that way. So we never had any big run-ins in the creative process.
Except for I wanted to. There's one part of singing in the rain medley I wanted to do differently, but he won't let me.
Okay, there you go. Well, that's the
only thing we've ever argued about.
Now, when you go see it and you do the Singing in the Rain medley, we'll all be watching and waiting to see what is it? Where is it?
It's really good.
It is good.
When you are putting this show together, for us who are not, maybe people out here who are like, why do I want to hear what is the MGM songbook? What am I going to hear? What are these songs? Who are they? What am I going to know them? Will you give us a little insight to why the MGM songbook is so important and why we're going to go and have a good time?
Well, I think that what you just said, good time, is like defines the MGM songbook. It's just the most fun. I mean, the Wizard of Oz. We don't do a Wizard of Oz medley. But like, come on, everybody knows the Wizard of Oz, and most people know Singing in the Rain. I mean, these songs are just joyous, and that's the fun we've had with this show, is everyone knows every song. I mean, there might be one or two that might be obscure to some people, but like every time you start a new, maybe in St. Louis, people they just smile. It just brings joy to people's, it brings joy. And that's what I think. I mean, these songs are timeless.
Yeah, and I feel like too, in Cabaret and in this stuff that that we all do, our goal is to try not to sing My Way and New York, New York, and Come Fly With Me, and all the stuff that everyone hears 86 million times at every wedding. So we do tend to lean into the obscure most of the time in all of our solo stuff, and even in our first duo. Whereas this show is just a celebration of every song that everybody already knows and loves. So it's sort of the antithesis of what we normally do. And so the joy of being able to perform it and watch the audience respond in real time is really cool, because you get to see their reactions and you see their faces light up and you see them start to sing along. And it's really, it's very gratifying in that way.
That's it. Giving you the hits. You're going to know the songs. You're going to know these songs. They're classics. Each of you individually. Seth, you, besides, award-winning, Broadway world-winning, associate. That's right. Seth has it. Is it hanging somewhere? Do you have it? Is it a real trophy?
No,
It's not even a piece.
it's not even. You don't even get a piece of paper. I think back before I started winning them, they would have like an actual like ceremony, and they would give you something. But
I often joke with Jim Caruso, I'm just going to go to Home Goods and buy like a little
Yes.
hand them out to people, just so we have something tangible.
Well, when I was I don't know what year it was, but I was winning, and I cheated, and I teach 5th grade, and I had every student in the whole school freaking vote for Mr. Bannon if you want to pass this class, because I want this damn. And then Jeff Harner has this cult of rabid fans that came out at the last minute. How dare you, Jeff? And I told you,
how dare you, Jeff?
you don't take over the last 24 hours like a horse trotting down the track and beat me.
That's what I did to Marilyn May. I was like, it was Christmas time. I was in Texas, and I was like, okay, all my cousins get
on there and vote. Well, now that there's not an award, Seth, I don't feel bad. Now I'm going to apologize to Jeff Harner about it, because I don't even want it anymore. No, but Seth, honestly, when you've assistant directed on Broadway, you have done many different things throughout your career. Was stage always the thing that drives you? Was performing and singing always the thing that is what you want to do?
For sure. I started singing as a little boy in church, and it was singing that brought me to theater, and then became a total show queen, a theater nerd. But I never really liked acting that much. I didn't want to play parts. I hated auditioning, but I loved singing, and I loved old songs. So while I wanted to work in the theater, so I was assisting all these great directors on lots of different kinds of shows for more than a decade. Broadway, The Band's Visit, The Nance, and then, but the whole time, this entire period, I was spending every night at the piano bars singing Judy Garland songs on the piano. And so after I realized, like, I'm doing this way too much, I should maybe just put together a little show. And after having not been on the stage for over a decade, I did my first Judy show at 54 Below, which was supposed to be a one-night only stunt for my friends. And here I am, more than 10 years, still doing it.
Amazing. Amazing. And Nicolas has to be the same age as me, because I saw Nicolas on Broadway when I was a kid. My first Broadway show ever, from coming across the street from Fort Lee, New Jersey to New York to see Beauty and the Beast. You were in that show for a moment. You performed literally, like you said, since you were 4 years old, and have worked with everyone and everywhere. And it's got to be the love of your life. You've never stopped. It's literally your entire life story.
Yeah. I mean, I had one job, I think, during, I was like 14. I worked at the box office of a theater, because I was like, well, you could be in the theater. And I have number dyslexia. So when I would take down the credit card numbers, I would get all the numbers wrong, and I would charge all the wrong people. And you get phone calls from Tuscaloosa saying, we didn't buy tickets to this. Anyway, so that's the only other job I ever really had. So I don't know anything else outside of performing and, acting and singing. So it's.
He was born in a trunk.
Essentially, I was born on the bandstand. My family's very musical, so I just grew up around it.
His grandmother is a singer, she band singer, and also she was Liza Minnelli's vocal coach, which is kind of how he got into that world. And yeah, he talks like Mickey Rooney. I mean, like, he's showbiz. He's my very own personal Mickey Rooney.
I'm too short to be Mickey Rooney. Don't worry.
Well, Nicolas and I grew up. My grandmother is Vincenza Di Meglio, and she's a little Italian lady from Fort Lee, New Jersey. So we grew up with the Frank, Sammy, Liza at the
Oh,
Fox
yeah.
Theater in Detroit.
Oh, of
Pay
course.
per view, obsessed.
Yes.
Nick, in my head, she's my godmother, but she's really yours. But in my head, she's mine. And if you want to see Seth do her songs, if you hear him sing ring those, you better ring them bells. Seth better sing that song and did it for a part of her birthday. You both have brought so much joy to people who grew up and love this music and kept this music and legacies alive. And that is such a beautiful gift that you give everybody who loves art. So thank you.
Thank you very much. Well, it's very much a mutual thing.
When do we get to see your next show?
No, see, my show is just trashy, Pride diva cover songs. Like, if you ever want to see me sing Shania Twain, well, we'll be in
entertainment.
That's December back in New York, and then every June I open 54 Below up for Pride. So I'm gonna have to have you. You may have to come sing a song, you two. We may have to have a moment.
Hey,
yes, let's do it.
We like to sing.
You're here now. You're hearing it here first, people.
I'm reaching out. I'm not. And I joked about Nicolas's album, but if you haven't heard this album, you have to hear this album. It is so stunningly gorgeous. The arrangements, the orchestrations, the guests, and his voice on it are absolutely off the chart. So if you're looking for something to listen to get ready before you go to 54 Below in September, then you need to make sure you do a deep dive and get your tickets. The show is September 6th. You can go to 54below.org. You can get your tickets. You can have a nice gorgonzola apple chicken salad and a martini, and then enjoy your night at 54 Below. Thank you both so much for being here. I can't wait to see you
and
guys.
Just can we tell them? We haven't really announced this yet, but we're also doing New Year's Eve at 7:00 at 54 Below. So, this is an exclusive.
We're gonna make a whole. This is you heard it here first. New Year's Eve. Seth and Nicolas. Do you know what show?
And Billy Stretch. 7:00. It's called Swinging Into the New Year's, so it'll be
I like this move.
That's a swinging move.
Yes.
I'm a swinger,
Yeah, love.
It's not this sort of a broadcast.
Whatever. We're not trying to yuck your yum, Seth. Go ahead, do your thing. So September, and then you get a little timeout break, and then New Year's Eve. 54 Below, smack in the middle of New York City. We're here for it all. Thank you all so much for being here.
Thanks for having us.
So nice to see you.
Back at you. There you go. Come on, Nicolas and Seth. How cute are they? I love them. I hope you go see them in 54 Below. I hope you go see them on New Year's Eve. And maybe they will come to my Christmas show. We're going to definitely have to reach out and invite them. I'm so excited you're here. Thank you so much, A. Thank you. A's got to run, but she says, great job as always. Marie says, do you know how many times I've heard that is the best introduction anyone has ever heard? You really do your homework. You really love your guests. There's a trick to that, Marie. There's a reason why. They are adorable, as Latte said. And the trick to that, Marie, is that when you introduce somebody, I feel like this is my house. So I'm letting you're spending your time. They could do other shows. They can do all sorts of things. But they come and spend time with me. So I try to give them energy because people do a lot of interviews, and a lot of the times people get very mundane, and I try never to take it for granted that people spend time with me. And I want to give them energy and joy, and I want to also let them know what they're in for, because this is a crazy show with a crazy host. So I try to give them the crazy off the bat so that they can meet my crazy and we could all be crazy together, because you all love it. The crazier and messier this show is, the more you all tune in. So that's the secret of the whole thing. We did watch, totally adorable. We're like, they're adorable as can be. Christine says, Nicolas and Seth are sensational. We're so happy they joined forces. They are showbiz. Their blending of talent creates magic. I love them both. You've seen them twice. So we gotta check out one of their shows when they're in one neck of the woods. Latte says amen. I'm sure on how crazy this show is. If they're watching tonight, they can sit with me at the yes, come on, go sit with my mans at the Christmas show. We'll make them all get up and sing something, including the Darius. I love you all so much for being here. Next week, Chris Allen is here. Oh, we could go to their New Year's Eve show. Yes, good. It's going to be magical night there. New Year's Eve in New York City. Come on. I love it. My friends at 54 Below, get your tickets, 54below.org, and check them out. I love you all for being here. You all are very special. That's it, lattes. You better get your Christmas on. Save you a seat, Santa. Christmas show's announcement coming soon. We're going to figure that all out. I promise you. Pinky swear. Thank you so much for being here. I love you all for being here. We ran a little late. But we had to do the Faygo soda. Next week, Chris Allen is here. Chris Allen is here. And we're ready for that. We'll be looking forward to that. Plus all sorts of debauchery and mess. Enjoy your Labor Day. Happy Labor Day weekend to everybody here in the United States. Everybody around the world. Have a great weekend. There's more love than there's joy. No. What are the words? There's more love than there is hate. There's more joy than there is sadness. And there is more good than there is bad. Happiness than there is sad. You loved Chris Allen on Idol next week. And thank you. You all loved the David Cook interview. We had a lot of fun. And we'll be probably from a new location next week. Who knows? Maybe we will. More to come. Stay tuned. The adventure continues. Thank you so much for being here. The best is yet to come. I love you for watching, and I'll see you again next week. Be well, everybody. Take care of yourself. Have a good one.